So good afternoon, everyone. This is my second year at Unchained, and to be honest, it already feels like talking to friends and family because during this year I've met so many of you. And I'm especially happy to return with such an exciting topic. When I was in the university, a bit more than 20 years ago, investing seemed so impossible for us because you had to have at least $10,000 to open a simple investment account, and I was studying in a specialized finance university, and it really hurt our soul that we knew that the theory, how it's done, but it was inaccessible to us. And at this moment, you can start with €1 straight from your banking app. And it doesn't mean there are no more further challenges. So we're going to discuss with these amazing panelists today, how does the landscape look? What is the modern investor looking for? And also what these newcomers offer and how they change the rules of the game. So I would like you to shortly give an introduction, give them a reason to Google your names, because I know you're all great.
Okay. Hello, my name is Tudor Irimia. I'm the head of sales at BT Asset Management. I mainly deal with the commercial strategy and app development and things that have to do with commerce.
My name is Michal Vaculik. I'm from Finax, head of sales, and maybe most of you don't know Finax. Finax is a robo-advisor. We manage ETF portfolios. Our core markets are Slovakia, Poland, Croatia, and we hope that from the next year, Romania too. And I'm responsible for international market and everything about sales.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stan, and I'm the owner and CEO of two companies. One of them is Nota. It's a Canadian MSB licensed company, and the second one is BTC BNK, Polish WASP licensed company. So mainly we are in transactional business for high net worth entities and individuals.
Thank you. And just before we get into the questions, our stage host gave us a pretty pessimistic scene, and I would like to prove him wrong. So from the audience, let's have a hand show. How many of you own governmental bonds? Okay, 20%. How many of you have stock and ETFs? A bit more. And crypto? Okay, not that bad. And I'm also happy to see women raising hands. Obviously, right? Wonderful. So, let's get into the first question. And in a few sentences, guys, tell me what feels the most different between 2025 and 2020, because I told you what feels so different in 20 years. What has changed in the last 5? Tudor, you can go ahead.
Okay. So, to answer your question, I think we should first look at the status quo. And I like to look at investment apps and how they work. I see that today a lot of the people are overwhelmed with a lot of information coming from media, podcasts, and shows and stuff like that. And what investment platforms did up to this point is to integrate this information in their app, starting from the assumption that the more info you add, the more value you create. And you see a trading platform today that is way more complex than it was 5 years ago. You see a lot of terms like market cap and price to earnings and book values and stuff like that, which of course are very useful for professionals, but I think they're really a little bit tough for the average individual. And what I think that the individual does is back off a little when he hears these terms. He kind of hesitates, and perhaps he even delays his decision. What we did exactly the opposite. We went on a different thesis. We believe that the client wants simplicity, he wants ease of access, he wants easy to understand platform. We built an investment section in Banca Transilvania's mobile app called BT Pay, and we built this section on these core values that I already mentioned. To be honest, I really betted my career on this development. Unfortunately, it went well. We had a huge spike in our customer base from 80,000 to 320,000 customers in the last 3 years, and Out of these 300,000 customers, 100,000 came in the last 8 months after we launched the app. So the app is based on simplicity. This is our thesis. This is what I believe that the customers want, and this was our successful bet up until this point.
Thank you.
What I think that changed the most is trust, easily trust, and it's a funny story because I am in this investment business for 15 years, and I joined a company mostly 5 years ago, and my first meeting at the end of, because you said 2020 and 25, so I would like to divide it to 2020 before the COVID, because it was a little bit different time, and at the end of 2019, it was my first met with our founder of our company. And he told me a lot of visions, how he wants to change the world, like from Slovakia to another countries, etc. And I worked in the biggest private banking in Slovakia, and I was in my own private banking bubble. And I don't believe him that we can do it. So when I asked him how much money do you manage, he told me like 17 million euros. So I was like, okay, so it's not enough. And he asked me to create a team of something like private bankers, wealth managers, that online platform with the human touch. And I told him that it couldn't work in the future. So, but at the end of the day, I joined the company. So we merged our power, and currently we manage 1.2 billion euros in more than 3 countries. So if you give me, for example, another question, then how I see the future, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me because I don't have a good prediction for it.
So we do the opposite, whatever you say.
Sorry?
So we have to do the opposite of whatever you say.
Yeah, this is it. So currently I said trust in online brokers and online fintechs institutions.
And you?
Yeah, I'm probably on the other side from the guys.
We love it.
Yeah, I'm not from the investment really. However, I do work with the people who got money. And what I see right now, that if you put in perspective any finance company that doing just the fiat transactions, and then on the other hand, you will put the same finance company who will deal with crypto, from my personal experience, the crypto company will do at least X4 more in turnover. That means that the people who had fiat before, more and more investing in crypto nowadays, and what we see from President Donald Trump, his crypto now assets are more than his fiat and other assets itself.
Thanks to him, mine as well.
Here you go, yeah. So I know customers who bought Bitcoin when it was $80, okay? So now it's more than 100. That's an investment, and this is what is changing from 5 years ago till now.
Thank you. Tudor, you said a lot of customers are tipped off by these complicated names, terms, and situations. What's your take on social investing trends? So should platforms have a community, leaderboards, someone to follow?
Yeah, well, that's a really interesting question. I'll dive into it. What I think is that, again, we have to look at what trading platforms do and what they assume. And in my opinion, I think they assume that the customer wants specific details. They assume that the customer becomes more picky, more demanding, and they assume that the customer looks at specific terms like lower fees, higher yields, fast execution, and stuff like that. And trading platforms enter a race among themselves to build the fastest or the greatest or the biggest, and I don't know. And this type of model is not a sustainable one because you can't be the best forever. So this is not the kind of battle that I would like to wage. So again, I'm betting on a different approach. We already spoke about simplicity, and this is something that I truly believe in. The other stuff that it's worth mentioning here is the fact that I think that the customer of the future will not become more picky, more demanding. I think he or she will become more and more, quote, lazy, and he will expect us to do the heavy lifting. I think the customer in 5 years from now, and of course, it touches your question. I think the customer from 5 years from now will come to me and say, here is my $100. I know it's a good decision to invest. Now use your recipe to use my money. So I think it will be us who do the lifting. I think what we have to do is build the trust among the customers to present us with their assets and leave us to do all the hard work. And we already seen this. So I also have to touch all the digital aids that everyone has, like artificial intelligence and stuff like that. That helps a lot of customers. I don't think that the customer needs a huge array of options and asking him to pick one. I think the customer needs a solution, and he expects us to give him that solution. He doesn't need a dashboard. He needs a direction. He doesn't need options. He needs a solution. So if you ask me what is my next bet, I think it's not social investing that much, but I think it will be a sort of delegation of this task. So just to wrap it up, I don't think it's a good, I wouldn't want to make my customers necessarily much aware of what's going on. They don't need to know the mechanics of every financial instrument. He needs to do, we need to do that for him, and he can have the rewards.
But you're saying that he even wants to remove the decision making.
Well, in some ways, yes. In some ways, yes, because think about this. I think the customer already uses AI in a lot of his decisions, okay? So I think in the future, the customer will assume that I am using AI in my decision making. So why would the customer assume that he or she can make better decisions than a financial institution using AI?
Also true. Michal, a take on...
We tested AI.
Go ahead.
What to do on the different situation on the financial market, yeah, that how AI will help us. And we realized that to different colleagues, different friends, AI recommended something different. Someone to sell, to someone to hold, to someone to buy more, or something like that. But I fully agree with you, Tudor, that we do the same, like simplicity in investing, thin product line, and for example, that what I talk about it, that what we add to our clients is this online between offline regime. So we created a team of wealth managers, what helped us really well in business to support to clients something like financial coach or an investment coach. So these wealth managers communicate with clients as bankers in the bank and provide them to investment principles. And it helps us a lot because we saw that we have a lot of clients with big potentials of assets, but they didn't want to invest with us like more assets. But after this, because we were just online, but after this offline communication, like personal meetings or video calls, we started to build a bigger trust, and after this bigger trust, they will be able to add like more deposits.
Because people need emotional connection.
Definitely,
so you
definitely.
Put the person back into the game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that a lot of companies, this is how we think, that a lot of online companies don't think about offline, and it's still important to be offline a few times.
Okay. Stan, you are more into the crypto. What do you think of leaderboards and AI?
As what I see right now, there is lots of investors who are still old money, and they probably do prefer to meet with people offline and chat. However, there is more and more younger generation, younger influencers, and young rich people who are out there, and they will start to invest at some point of their time. It will come to them, and I believe at that point of time, as what I see right now with the younger generation, they don't really care about the real estates. They find with working for 2 years and then take 1 year of retirement and then go back to work. It's just a different mindset what they've got. And with all the AI stuff, like if you take us 5 years back and where we right now is ChatGPT and other things, and you're asking what's going to be after 5 years with all this young money coming down, young money from different countries, not just European and States, but there is more in Asia going on nowadays, right? And we know that, and that it's hard to predict, especially for me, but this is my observation and what's going on right now in the world.
Okay, thank you. And a bit talking more in depth about your own platforms, how would you say, how are they reshaping the access to asset classes which were booked for the historic wealthy people? You have done a lot.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
The question is, how has your own platform changed the investing experience for people?
Yeah, it definitely changed a lot. And again, we had a lot of wrong assumptions that were built in the platform. Unfortunately, we proved them wrong. Whenever you're dealing with people one-on-one, like you said, we have a tendency to gravitate towards conservative products. We have the tendency to keep them at bay, not allowing them to take more risk, and we're presuming that this is what the customer wants. He wants to be safe. Well, after we launched the platform and we went from offline connection to a fully digital one, we saw exactly the opposite. So more than 50% of all our transactions were made on index fund, which is a equity-based index fund, and we saw exactly the opposite of what we would expect there. So yeah, it opens a lot of possibilities, and we have to be able to keep our minds open to this kind of behaviors.
What we changed a lot when we compared with traditional forms of investing is education. Like we saw the gap 5-7 years ago, the gap of educational content about personal finance. So what we created is not something like super brilliant, but I think that in most of the countries we have a lot of content about what's currently happening on the market, how interest rates are changed, and what Tesla did, and etc. So I think that this we had a lot, but we didn't have, and that was the gap. We didn't have the educational content about personal finance, like how to build an emergency fund, how to build a financial reserve, how to retire, how to saving for retire for children, etc. So all of these are super boring topics, but at the end of the day, it helped us a lot in a business because we check in our business is very important, because we at the start we don't have a lot of revenue on the clients because we don't have any. We are passive investors managing portfolios, boring passive investing, and our revenue will come like at the end of this journey. It means like after 15, 20, maybe 30 years, when our clients will build the wealth. So we watch the future revenue, and it means that how our revenue on clients is increasing during the time, and we're building this connection, because if you want to see this, you need to build the strong connection between your company and the clients, and this educational content really helped us. And we had, for example, the first podcast, a financial podcast in Slovakia, a lot of blogs, a lot of webinars, and these things, and this is what really missed in our region.
So education matters.
Education matters, as was discussion before us.
Stan?
Yeah, so as for me and platform that I've got, what I see, there is demand right now from the company that do investment for their clients, and the clients who are holding crypto in particular and trying to send over to the investment company. And this is where platform like mine come in handy, as we can do on a framping. And the thing with us that I was listening to the colleagues who spoke before and talking about the wire transactions in 7 days and 2 weeks and stuff. Yeah, so we're trying to push T0, T+1, even for on-off ramping. And I believe that can help for the investors to invest in some more stable, probably from their point of view, assets than the crypto is as of now for them. However, they do now receive money in crypto, and they have crypto, so they want to, so we're kind of the bridge intermediary, and we are trying to create solutions for such people. So we're trying to create solutions for example, truck driver companies. I know it has nothing to do with investment. However, more and more, for example, truck drivers in the States are younger generation. The guys, 20, 23-year-old, they're not afraid of crypto, but then they're sending money, they're doing mass payouts, right, to their families. Usually, before it was Western Union, fees, couple of days. But then, on the other hand, if you receive money from your customer to the truck driver company, okay, then we can do a frumping, and then we can create wallets for each and every driver that receives their salary right away, can spend money with crypto-backed cards and send money home to their families within a second. So this is what also touching the probably investors who are receiving money now from their clients in crypto, because it's getting bigger and bigger, stablecoins, bitcoins, and stuff, right? So yeah, for us, it's going to be probably bridging between the investors and company that helping them with invest somewhere in other assets.
Thank you. We have 4 minutes left, and I have one tiny question to cause hopefully a little discussion or argument between you, because we have one bank-related representative and two, let's call you fintechs. How do you think where the next big innovation is going to come from? Can the banks compete in generating this investment innovation, or are they going to mainly come from niche fintechs?
Yeah, sorry. As banks or fintechs, yeah, definitely fintechs. Sorry, guys. But the reason of that, not because probably we are just more hungry and customer-oriented. I think that's the reason that moves us in terms of customer support, and maybe we not have that much clients. However, this makes us probably more critical thinkers, I would say, at this point of time, at least.
Michal, now you, and then Tudor, you can prove him wrong.
I will respond a little bit differently. So how we see the potential future, what we really miss that in investing when we compare traditional or fintechs, that most of money of our clients, our customers, investors, we invest in US market, Western European markets, something emerging markets. It doesn't matter if we talk about the stocks or bonds, like most of the money flows there. And we know why, yeah? We know why, because of diversification and everything. And not a lot of money we invest in central regions. So we hope that in the future, in the near future, like 3, 5, 7 years, that we will integrate some kind of additional option to portfolios about private equity investment or something similar in CEE region, and all of our clients will have possibility to invest in our region, because through, for example, investment vehicles as LTIF or something else, something similar. So this is something where we can really cooperate, because I think that on the bank side, yeah, of course, that there's a lot of loans lending, etc. But on the investment side, like most of the money flows out of this region, out of the CE region.
No.
Okay, so in my personal opinion, this is the healthiest competition that there could be. I don't think there's a right answer. I'll give you my opinion at the end, but I think that today's fintechs behave more and more like banks. You see Revolut, who is gravitating toward being a bank, and you also see banks, perhaps like ours, that would like to behave like a fintech and get all this kind of useful, studied and proved theories into their platform. So I don't think it's either or. I think there's a convergence point where banks and fintechs will meet somewhere. But what I can tell you for sure is that I believe that a customer needs, or perhaps wants, all of his assets, all of his belongings into one place. So I think integration is the final thing that I'm going to say here. I think the most important thing that a bank or a fintech could do is to integrate all the belongings, all the holdings of a client in one single place. I don't want 10 apps that do the same thing. I don't want to move assets from one platform to the other. I think I want one place to have it all. And I'm not talking to some specific customers, perhaps like you have. that are much more educated, versed in transactions and stuff like that. I'm thinking about the regular people that also needs to be addressed. And I think the regular people that needs financing, that needs payment, fast payments and stuff like that, I think they want simplicity. I think they want to delegate most of his tasks, whether to a person or to an AI or whatever. And at the end, I think that they want all of these systems integrated into one. And whoever can do the better job wins.
I can only agree with that because I have accounts on which I haven't logged in for half a year because it's too complicated. The money lives there, the investments live there, what it is, I don't care. And you kind of answered the very last question I wanted to ask you, like in an ideal world, in a perfect world where there's no restrictions, no legislation, nothing, how would an investment platform look? So for you, it would look all in one place. How would it look for you guys? Is there a dream what you cannot implement in your own thing now, what you're fighting for?
It has to be something super easy and something joined with simplicity and something what create the joy for you, because investing is nothing. It's nothing like you wake up in the morning and you are looking forward to invest. Yeah, this is not like that. You are okay. So for most of the people in the world, it's not, definitely, and it has to be something like brushing your teeth or something like that. Yeah. So this is ideal world.
Okay, and Stan, for you?
You caught me off guard. I never thought about that, if to be honest, how it should look ideally for me. I hope that AI will take everything from shoulders and will help with the click of a button, do the right calculations for myself. That's what I hope for, because there are the things I need to focus on, and probably investment is not one part of them. However, I do understand I don't need to do that.
Okay. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure. No. Okay.
We have a question. We have a disruptor in the audience who wants to talk to you.
Perfect.
He's disruptive, only most disruptive. There you go, son.
Hi, guys. Thank you for the insights. And I heard a lot of words mentioned in this panel, like easy, one app to rule them all, things like this, disrupting the technology, the future. I have a question for all of you, and I'm expecting an answer from all of you. How many clicks does a user need in order to onboard on your app?
In an hour, he needs 1, perhaps 2.
We don't know the clicks with face recognition and everything to the first investment, 10 minutes.
Probably a few weeks. I mean, KYC, KYB is not that easy, right? And it's nothing to do around it. And you do need to upload the documents, and you do need to do the verifications. Otherwise, you don't know which person sends money and receives the money from. So, and it's not up to us; it's up to regulators. If regulators tells me, Stan, we don't care who is this person is, which is probably not the best case scenario, then it's going to be one click. But the truth is, it's not.
We have been disconnected.
Do we have? But everyone can click on finax.eu and try the onboarding.
Count it.
I can guarantee the onboarding in 40 seconds if anyone wants to try.
Good question, though. That Revolut was really high on that list once, wasn't it? Yeah. 6 years ago. Not now. Yeah. Very good question. So, perfect.
Can I wrap it up now?
Please do.
So, thank you to the panelists, thank you to the audience. And if someone has any more questions, I think you're free to come up or to reach out. And now enjoy the startup finals. Thank you.